Hello, and welcome to Please Stay in Crochet. Today we're going to learn how to do a chain stitch, a single crochet, and how to weave in your ends. Before we begin, you're going to need a darning needle, a pair of scissors, a crochet hook, and some yarn. Whichever of these you have at home will be fine. Today I'm going to be using 100% acrylic worsted weight, and I'm going to be using the recommended hook, which is an I. To begin, we're going to take the yarn. I'm going to lay it across my fingers like this. Excuse me. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my index finger and just loop it across. I'm then going to take the loop that was on my finger and I'm going to fold it down so that it lays on my hand this way. I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to slide it under that middle strand of yarn, and then I'm going to pull it up, and that is my slip knot. I then take the yarn, I wrap it around my pinky and then around my index finger, and this helps me control my tension. I'm going to take my middle finger and my thumb and grab my yarn right here at this little knot so it controls my yarn so it doesn't slip around my hook. Now the first thing we're going to do is a yarn over. We take the hook and you go under and behind your strand of yarn, twist your hook and pull it through the loop that was on your hook, and that's a chain stitch. I'm going to show you again. We take the hook and go under and behind your strand of yarn, twist your hook down and pull it through the loop that was on your hook. We're going to do one more. So go under and behind, twist your hook and pull it through. Now I'm going to go ahead and crochet up to 11 stitches, and I already have 3 on my hook. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now if you forget to count as you're crocheting, you can always go back and count them. When we count our chain stitches, we look for these little V's right here. Each one of these is a stitch. So we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now to do a single crochet, we're going to go into the top strand of yarn on our chain stitches. Now when crocheting, you don't ever want to count the loop that is on your hook. This one does not count at all. This one right here is my first loop, or my first crochet chain. And this one is my second one. You always want to go into the second one when starting. So you're going to insert your hook into that top strand of yarn. We're going to do a yarn over, which is under and behind our thread, turning our hook to grab the yarn and pull through. So we now have 2 strands of yarn on our hook. We're going to do another yarn over, under and behind, twisting our hook, and we're going to pull through both loops, and that is a single crochet. So remember, this top strand of yarn right here, insert your hook, do a yarn over, pull through, having 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through 2. I'm going to go ahead and work all the way to the end of my row. I have 2 And so here's 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, 7, 8. My yarn's curling on me. There's 9. Okay, now right here, this is going to be our last stitch. This is our slip knot, and we're not going to crochet into it. We're just going to crochet into this one, which makes 10. And there we have our single crochets. If you want to make sure you have 10, then up here at the top, get my yarn pulled up. We don't ever count the loop that was on the hook. So we're going to count our little V's, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now to start the next row, we're going to do a yarn over. We're going to pull through, which is our chain 1. You always need a chain 1 when you're doing single crochets. This helps give you your height. Once you have your chain 1, we're going to turn our yarn over and we're going to be working on the back side. Now to do this right here is our first stitch. We're going to make sure that we go underneath both strands of yarn right here that make our little V. We're going to go into this little hole right here, do a yarn over, pull through. We have the 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through. Now if you look, that right there's our single crochet, and right here's our next stitch. So we're going to go into this little hole right here, making sure we have both strands of yarn on. We're going to do a yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. So we now have 2 single crochets. I'm going to go ahead and work all the way to the end, inserting my hook, making sure I have both strands of yarn, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. I'm going to go ahead and go all the way to the very end. And just remember that when you're learning to do something, small steps are better than none at all. Some people come by this easy, some people it's hard for. For me, it was difficult. I had to do a lot of practicing. Okay, so that makes 9. Now right here is my last stitch. He's kind of hard to see, but right there's my 2 strands of yarn, and I'm going to go in right in here. I crocheted a little too tight. I am a tight crocheter. Well, why do I burnt the end of my finger, so the end of my finger hurts. There we go. Okay, so I got through both strands. I'm going to do a yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. We're going to make sure we got our 10 stitches. We're going to count our little V's. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so to do the 3rd row, we insert our hook back in here. You just do a chain 1, turn your work, and your first stitch is right here. Just make sure you get underneath your 2 strands of yarn, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. I think you have the hang of it by now. If not, you could pause the video and practice a little bit. But this is how you do a single crochet. You can make all kinds of things. You can make hats, pot holders, blankets. This is one of my favorite stitches for hats. Oh, let me go ahead and finish. Let me go ahead and go all the way to the end. You're going to have to excuse my videos. I do not know how to edit, so you just have to be patient with me. Okay, we're almost at the end. Okay, now this right here, we're back to the very last stitch. We're going to insert our hook, making sure we go under, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. Now if we wanted to end right here, oops, my yarn's getting away from me. If we wanted to end right here, this is how I end. I do a chain stitch. I pull my yarn up a little bit. Different people end in different ways. I snip my yarn. Then I go ahead and I pull it all the way through. And this creates a nice little knot right there that will not come undone. Okay, next I get my darning needle. These come different ways. You have plastic ones, you have metal ones. I've broke a couple of the plastic ones. I've bent them. So I prefer a metal one. Okay, I take my yarn. I give it a little twist like that, so it's got a little part sticking up. Maybe I should have twisted him better. And I thread my needle. Of course, he's not going to thread. There we go. Okay, now I take my hat or blanket, whatever I've made. I take my yarn or my darning needle and I just insert it into these stitches, weaving it back and forth a few stitches. Pull your yarn all the way through, making sure that you don't get it too tight. And then what I do is I come back through. Don't go back in the same spot you just came out of, because it'll undo your work. Pick a different spot that's really close. Insert your needle. Weave it back and forth. Pull it through. You want it nice and snug, but you don't want it too tight. And then I do it one more time, just to make sure that it holds and that it does not pull out when you're washing it, wearing it. Pulling it snug, but not too tight. Snip off the end of your yarn, and you've weaved in your ends. I hope you like my video. This is the first one I've ever made, and when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. It's not going to be a very large one. It will be a couple of skeins of yarn. I'm not exactly sure of what color. I will be giving away a crochet hook to go with the yarn. So if you guys will let me know what color of yarn you like, I will try to get that yarn for my giveaway. But as soon as I hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away some yarn. So I'd like to thank you guys very much, and just remember, small steps are better than none.